So hi everybody, I'm Madeline Howard and I'm going to deliver this first lightning talk on raising awareness and aspirations during a global pandemic with a focus on inspiring the next generation. A bit about me, I'm the Socio-Technical Engagement Manager at Cygenta, so I work with the fabulous Dr. Jess. I'm also a director of Cyber Cheltenham, the UK's largest cyber cluster, and I'm a I100 Cyber First Ambassador for the UK's National Cybersecurity Centre. In this role, I work 1 day a week supporting the Cyber First Schools initiative. And what I've seen over the last year is actually how this work in inspiring and engaging the next generation can really kind of cross over into the work that we're doing in awareness and particularly benefit our awareness raising. So last year, the day after the SANS Summit in London, actually, I helped to organise an event for 800 Year 8 girls. And this event had a key focus on exciting and inspiring not only girls that are currently studying computer science, but girls from all sorts of different backgrounds that maybe aren't interested in cybersecurity or that maybe only just engage with it through the technology that they touch during their everyday lives. This event featured 14 companies and 2 universities. And the feedback that we had from young people is that they recognise that at the core of the cybersecurity industry is people and the relationship between people. They loved learning and engaging with people from different backgrounds, but more importantly, they loved that the lessons that they'd learned that day, they could go back and tell their family, tell their friends, and help them to become more secure. This year, we did have grand plans to scale up this event and have physical events running across the UK. But obviously, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, it meant that we had to look at how did we do it virtually. Virtualizing an event of this scale was really difficult, and there were lots of things that we had to consider. Oh, I'll just go back. The first of which is actually how do we have that same level of aspirations and inspirations when it's a virtual event? When you've got lots of people in a room and there's lots going on, you can kind of see how that would naturally happen. But when it came to a virtual event, it was really important for us to excite and inspire these young people in the same way that we did with the physical event. The first thing that we had to consider, and that I think we need to consider as we look forward for our awareness raising, is actually how do we engage with our target audience, whether that's your employees or in this case, these young people. We really had to look at whether we did live, pre-record, on demand. And so we decided to go for a hybrid engagement model. And this is because we wanted people to engage when they could. Teachers are running at different timetables. You've got kids in school, not in school. And we're seeing this in the industry as well. People are working from home. They have different responsibilities. The second is actually we really wanted to have that people element. And instead of teachers engaging, we wanted to showcase people in the industry. One of my favorite quotes from last year is that one of the students said, "A lot of what I learned today, I now remember my teacher taught me, but because somebody else was talking to me about it, I've now taken it on board." And so this is something that we also see within security awareness, is that sometimes it can be a good thing to bring in someone outside of your organization to reinforce what you've been telling people. So I'm hoping that you're all on board with why you should support young people. It's a fantastic thing to do, but actually, how does this translate to your awareness raising that you're doing within your organization? And I've seen this really in 3 elements: at a community level, at an organizational level, and also at an individual level. At a community level, we really have to see this as when you engage with young people that are local to your organization, those young people are going to have parents and guardians. And for those of you who are parents or guardians yourself, you will know that if your child has learned something new at school, they'll come back and they're really excited to share that knowledge. And you will see that they'll pass it on to your neighbours, your grandparents, they'll share it with their siblings. And so actually that knowledge transfer is something that's really quite incredible when you engage with young people. If they're not parents and guardians that work for your organisation, think about that wider community that you're helping to engage and really support in developing good security behaviours and helping people to be more secure. Engaging with young people from a community sense is also fantastic, as it provides your organisation with good news stories. It's a fantastic thing to share with local press or to submit to whatever, but it's a great thing in terms of recruitment and marketing. At an organisational level, we always talk about not wanting to be seen as the security team as the department of no. And what better way to become more approachable than having your security team engage with young people and speak to them about why security is important. And it also helps to develop, team building, communication skills, which can always be seen as a good thing. We also see that senior management really get on board with supporting young people, particularly if there's recognition involved, such as supporting the Cyber First Schools initiative, whereby you can get recognition from the National Cybersecurity Centre. If you've got a champions program, and you've manageable time-wise, what a great thing to get your champions involved with, delivering a session here and there to support young people and raise their awareness. And finally, at the individual level, this really comes down to people's mental health. If you speak to anybody who is engaged with young people, they will say that it really positively impacts their mental health. They really do get a sense of morale that you maybe don't get in your everyday working lives. And we know that the development of a good company culture with good mental health really does help us to develop a really strong sense of security culture. So if you're thinking about engaging with young people, we've seen over the last few months that it has been a struggle, but it is totally doable to do it virtually. There's some examples here of what we've done at Cygenta, but also what we've done more widely in the programme in terms of industry-led interviews. Just get in front of people, tell them what you love most about your job. Do engage with schemes like Cyber First. Wherever you are in the world, there will be schemes that support young people. So I really would recommend engaging with them, where they'll have ideas, but also engage with your local schools as to what they think they would like to see. The key takeaways are from this is that actually, as we move into this post-COVID world, it's really important that we recognise that potentially previous engagement methods aren't going to be the same. Like with this SANS summit, everything's going to be recorded and re-accessible, and that's something that potentially wasn't available previously. So there's some really positives to take from that. The second is, when you're engaging with young people, you have to think about the wider difference and the positive impact you're making at that community, that organisational and that individual level. Jess said earlier about the importance of developing a strong culture, and that's how we do that, is thinking more broadly. And finally, I'm hoping you'll all agree that supporting the next generation only helps to develop a more secure talent pipeline, which is fantastic for every organisation. Please do reach out on the usual channels, and I'll be in the Slack group if you want to ask any questions. Thank you very much.